Hi, I'm Michelle Savoie.
Lawrence Baitland.
I'm Faith Knutson.
I'm Taylor Raska.
I'm Julie Bracefield.
I'm Erica Halsey.
And we're the biomedical flight controllers on the final shuttle mission.
And you're watching NASA TV.
Good morning, Marshall Space Flight Center. Thanks for that great message and awesome ride to orbit, and 134 before that with this tremendous space shuttle program. We really look forward to having a visit with you all after we finish the mission, and thanks again.
Good day from Mission Control in Houston. From the Shuttle Flight Control Room, the beginning of the first full day of operations for Atlantis' astronauts on this final shuttle flight in program history. A day that will convert yesterday's activities that were steeped in pomp and circumstance and emotion with the launch of Atlantis on its final flight in shuttle program history to the blue-collar work that will be undertaken in the inspection of the shuttle's thermal protection system today. Standard Flight Day 2 activity for the 4 astronauts on board the orbiter as they prepare for their arrival at the International Space Station tomorrow. So now, more than 19 hours following the launch of Atlantis, Commander Chris Ferguson, pilot Doug Hurley at the aft flight deck of the orbiter ready to pick up work as they will maneuver the shuttle's robotic arm that you see in the upper right-hand corner of this view from payload bay cameras aboard Atlantis. It will be extended over to the starboard sill to grapple the orbiter boom sensor system. Payload retention latches will be commanded open, and the boom will be lifted out of its sill on the starboard side of the payload bay. Its cameras and lasers will be activated. Its sensors will be activated and calibrated for the start of the inspection of the leading edge of the starboard wing and the reinforced carbon-carbon along the wing itself. The shuttle robotic arm now in motion. That confirmed by the Payload Deployment and Retrieval Systems Officer here in Mission Control. There are 2 grapple fixtures on the orbiter boom sensor system. The grapple fixture to which the shuttle's robotic arm will affix itself to momentarily is also used to power up the intensified video camera and the laser range imagery equipment. That is basically at the forward end of the boom. There is also a midpoint grapple fixture that is used by the station's robotic arm that will be used to grapple the boom and hand it off to the shuttle's arm after docking, because the shuttle arm cannot reach around the orbiter docking system once the shuttle is linked up to the International Space Station's pressurized mating adapter number 2. And this view from an end effector camera on the shuttle's robotic arm as it now hovers above the grapple fixture, this electrically fixed grapple fixture at the end of the orbiter boom sensor system. A short time from now, the shuttle's robotic arm will be maneuvered down to grapple on to that fixture, after which payload retention latches will be released to enable the boom to be lifted out of its starboard sill. A good view from a camera at the rear of Atlantis' cargo bay, looking down the length of the orbiter boom sensor system, and a good look at the business end of the OBSS, as it is known, where the intensified television camera and the laser sensors are located, and now the process of beginning to lift the boom out of its moorings on the starboard sill underway. This survey of the leading edge of the starboard wing of Atlantis will be followed by a survey of the nose cap of the orbiter and then the port wing of Atlantis. The leading edge of the reinforced carbon-carbon along the leading edge of the wing to be surveyed along with other areas of interest. All of this imagery being processed by laser dynamic imaging equipment, lasers and 3D sensors, as well as intensified TV cameras on board the orbiter boom sensor system, the 51-foot long boom extension. Once the survey is complete, the boom will be stowed back in its moorings on the starboard sill. It will be at the ready, if needed, for a focused inspection of the orbiter's thermal protection system, should that become necessary. In the unlikely event that that would be needed, there is time that has been set aside on the 6th day of the mission during docked operations for that to take place, although the early indications are that Atlantis' heat shield is in excellent shape and that a focused survey would not be required. However, the mission management team will be the final authority on that based on all of the imagery that will be analyzed from this survey, from the ascent imagery that is being processed back here at the Johnson Space Center, as well as high-resolution digital still imagery that will be taken tomorrow during Atlantis' final approach for docking, as 3 of the crew members aboard the International Space Station, Russian cosmonaut Sergei Volkov, along with NASA astronauts Ron Garan and Mike Fossum, will be in the Zvezda service module using a variety of high-resolution lenses. Volkov will be using a 1,000 millimeter lens. Mike Fossum will be using an 800 millimeter lens, and Japanese astronaut Satoshi Furukawa will be using a 400 millimeter lens to take hundreds of images of Atlantis as it executes the final rendezvous pitch maneuver, the rotational backflip that the orbiters have been conducting since return to flight back in 2005, at a point at about 600 feet directly below the International Space Station, when Commander Chris Ferguson initiates about a 9-minute maneuver for about 90 seconds of usable photography of all of the key surfaces of the orbiter's belly and all of its key areas of its thermal protection heat shield.
We copy, Rex. Thanks.
Hey, Houston, if you don't see a reason why we shouldn't do otherwise, we're just going to get centerline camera checkout done right now.
And Fergie, we're good with that. It may be easier config-wise if you do the docking mech init first. That'll get power to the lights that you may use during that camera checkout.
That's a real good point. Thanks very much. And how you doing, Megan? It's good to hear your voice again.
Doing great, Fergie. Happy to be here working with your team, and you guys looked great launching yesterday. It was fun to be there.
It was exciting for us, too.
Yeah, I'll bet.
So, Megan, now that we're talking about it, can we get into docking mech init early?
Absolutely.
Houston, Atlanta.
Go ahead.
Megan, if you want to, you guys are welcome on board the flight deck.
Thanks very much. We are there with you now. You guys look great.
Yeah, we're all crammed into the aft part of the flight deck. You would think with just four of us we would be downstairs or something else, but got a pretty good pass going, too.
Oh, well, that's where the view is, I take it.
Yeah, that's where the windows are.
This is Mission Control Houston. The crew of Atlantis now playing back their onboard launch video that was taken yesterday during Atlantis' ride up into space. That is Doug Hurley there on the far left, the pilot of STS-135. Back behind him, Sandy Magnus. Sitting beside her is Rex Walheim. You see the solid rocket boosters ignite there. Just out of frame is Chris Ferguson.
And Houston, Atlantis, when you're ready, I'll be glad to do the ML86 Bravo switch.
Rex, we are ready.
The crew of Atlantis continuing to play back this video on board the shuttle yesterday as it lifted off and headed into space. It's giving you a sense of exactly what it's like to be on board the shuttle as it heads up into orbit. You see the flash of the solid rocket boosters there separating from the shuttle and the external tank. You can see the sunlight and the shadows are beginning to rotate around as the shuttle rolled to a heads-up position. The shuttle does this during its launch in order to gain more favorable communications with NASA's Tracking and Data Relay satellite system. This is done during the final moments of powered flight. The shuttle at this point was still flying under its 3 main engines, still attached to the external tank. And there goes main engine cutoff.
Hey Houston, coming down right now. If you see it, is just prior to our NC2 burn this morning. Yeah, you'll see our TIG coming up here in just a second.
And we see that.
This is a short burn.
This is Mission Control Houston. Out of all the traditions and history inside the Space Shuttle Flight Control Room, one of the more important ones to the team here are these roses that arrive during every single mission. The Shelton family up near the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex has sent these roses to the team here in Mission Control during every single flight since STS-135, which was back in 1988. So for 110 missions, these roses have been a part of the team here. It is something that they look forward to every single time. It would not be a Space Shuttle mission without these roses arriving. We were surprised a bit yesterday whenever they arrived on launch day. That is the first time that has ever happened. But the family, the Sheltons, they sent us a very nice note. We're going to read it to you now. The note says, to our good friends at Mission Control and the crews of STS-135 and Expedition 28. What a warm sight, Atlantis, the first orbiter seen in person by the Sheltons during a surprise visit to the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. Every second of this mission is exciting, thrilling, sad, and poignant. The handprints and heartprints of so many touch every surface, every moment. Thank you all for sharing it all, the glory and unspeakable pain, with a grateful nation, a grateful planet. Godspeed, 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 the Sheltons and the Murphys. On behalf of Mission Control and the entire team here in Houston and the entire Space Shuttle program, we want to thank those families for supporting us all these years. We look forward to this tradition continuing with our next human spaceflight program.